This field here, as you can see, this is where they have pulled all the grapes out. Before here, there was grapes and there was no hunger. Now we say that the boycott helped us to be hungry. This is what we have to thank the people of the East that supported the boycott. Instead of helping us, they have destroyed us. This was the only way that Chavez could get the ranchers to sign the contracts, because the people here in Delano never did make a walkout. What has hurt us the most is the boycott. Nothing else hurt us but that.
Sunrise, 265 miles northwest of Delano, California. The fields of Watsonville. Here, the workers harvest the strawberries, the lettuce, the celery, the salad crops that go east to market. For some months now, in small groups like these, workers from Watsonville have driven over to Delano, where farm workers have been organized by Cesar Chavez and the United Farm Workers Organizing Committee, or UFWOC. Here, the UFWOC hiring hall, 6 miles outside of Delano, where without an UFWOC dispatch card, nobody works in the fields of Delano. But the road to Delano runs cross-country into the whole nation, its cities, its churches, its homes. It leads into the marketplace, where a massive secondary boycott was imposed against table grapes and later lettuce and other products. The idea is to bring such organized pressure against the food industry that its retail stores will refuse to handle the boycotted product. Farmers who produce it must then sign over their workers to UFWOC or go out of business. The organizers are in the cities, not on the farms. They fall in line behind Cesar Chavez, and what they organize are boycotts. Some say the road to Delano began here, at the Salinas, California home of the late John Steinbeck, whose Grapes of Wrath in 1939 dramatized the agony of the Great Depression for all America, not just its migrant farm families. Restored by students at Hartnell College, the Steinbeck home now houses the Campus Newman Foundation, whose chaplain is the Reverend Michael Cross, a Spanish-speaking workers' priest who speaks out as plainly as Steinbeck.
Cesar Chavez has actually stifled the right of the farm worker wherever he has attempted organization. All of the priests in the town of Salinas were in agreement that their knowledge of the industry and the conditions and situations of the farm workers was not completely in line with what Chavez was telling the people in the East. I know for a fact that when you get a lot of priests from the outside coming in and telling the farm workers it's God's will that you leave the fields and strike, you know, on behalf of UFWOC, these people, in the simplicity of their faith, will automatically follow the directions of the priests and leave the field. One farm worker told me he would never quit his job until the priest told him. The priest told him a couple of days later, and he left the field. I went out and cut lettuce. I think I was the only person that could put 26 heads of lettuce in a 24-head case. Boy, there's nothing like field work to make you realize what farm workers have to go through. I think it's better for a priest to bend his back and work in the fields and get the blisters on his hand and everything else, rather than just stand off to the sidelines shouting Huelga and waving a red flag and shouting through a bullhorn. I was out there one day, and the priests and some of these strikers who are not farm workers, they were pelting us with rocks. They were actually exciting the people to war, you know, and they were making a racial issue out of it. And then we had foremost representing the church, the Basis Committee on Farm Labor, who used to come to the rectory have dinner with us. They would offer Mass at the church, and they would get together and discuss things. And you could tell by the whole tenor of the conversation that they were not concerned necessarily about the truth of the situation here. They were dedicated only in being protagonists of UFOC. Farm workers, all they want to do mostly is to have their job. Now, if the unions are coming in, and this is the way it's going to go, that unionization is going to be practically universal in farm industry, then I think they have the right to select freely by secret ballot whether or not they want unionization, and if so, which union.
Down California 99, the workers from Watsonville come to Delano. Here, in the summer of 1970, table grape growers capitulated to the Chavez boycott when they could no longer move grapes to market. At last ditch, they signed over their workforce without elections and under terms that empowered UFOC to dispatch or not to dispatch any worker to any farm. In a growing resistance movement, farm worker Dolores Mendoza has been among the first to speak out. She and 200 others have gone to court to nullify the UFOC contract. She and 1,000 others assembled at the state capitol in Sacramento to plead for laws to guarantee secret ballot elections. But Chavez opposed them, and the laws died in the legislature.
Ms. Mendoza, how long have you been a farm worker?
I've been a farm worker for 22 years.
And your husband's a farm worker?
Yes, he is. He was born here in Delano, so he's been here. He's been working since he was around 15, and he's 49 right now.
Cesar Chavez has said that he seeks dignity for the farm worker. Do you feel that your work is degrading or that it lacks dignity?
Well, I'll tell you. If it was that he was looking for dignity for us, he wouldn't have did what he did to us, to sign us up without our consent, without us being able to decide for ourselves. He gathered us like a whole bunch of cattle, and we were told either you sign or you get out of the farm.
They told us that the union, the Kavovich had signed, and that the union was coming in that day at noon on a lunch hour, and that we had to sign, or either we had 3 days to get out. So we didn't have a chance, no choice. Either we signed if we wanted to work, or we had to leave the farms. A lot of people didn't want to sign, and they hid under the vines, and they hunted them until they all had to sign. They didn't leave until the last one signed. So this is the way I signed for the union.
Ms. Mendoza, were farm workers powerless and without representation before the union came in?
No, we have never been powerless. We have less power right now than what we had before. Before, if we didn't like what one farmer said to us, or if we would ask him for a raise, and if we didn't get it, we could walk out. Right now, we can't walk out because we're scared that we might not be able to get a dispatch card to go into another farm. I think we have averaged less money this year. It's because we are getting less hours. Now the farmer is economizing because they have to pay so high on the, maybe not on the wages, but they have to pay a big price to the Chavez committee to let us work. He has to pay a dime for every person that works here an hour, which this hurts the people. Instead of hiring one more hand, he lets that person go, so he has to give this money to Chavez.